According to the Department of Veteran Affairs and Boston University, 99% of NFL players had brain disease. For decades, the NFL avoided the possibility that their players were in grave danger. This danger is brain disease caused by repeated trauma to the head, which is a very common occurrence in football. Whether major or minor, these occurrences over time would change the brain and can cause disease. The most common disease being CTE. CTE, other known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, symptoms include depression, impulsive behavior, difficulty thinking, and the list goes on. This disease is like a plague in the NFL, taking its first victim in 2002, and today 202 have died from CTE. So my job in the talk is to inform about CTE and concussions in the NFL. I will hope to clear some things up, tell you what has been done to prevent concussions and what is still being done. The most common way someone passes from CTE is by suicide. It changes your brain chemistry. According to Lauren Ezell, a publisher for PBS, the first death and result of the head injuries was in 2002 when former Pittsburgh Steeler Mike Webster, 50, who committed suicide. Because suicide can be seen as circumstantial, CTE was able to be denied by the NFL, and this was NFL's wrongdoing. The first research paper published that connected football to CTE was by Dr. Kevin Gushwicks, a sports medicine researcher at the University of North Carolina. He published a paper suggesting that repeated concussions may lead to slower recovery of the neurological functioning. However, it wasn't until 10 more deaths and 36 more research papers that caused the NFL in August 2013, 11 years after the first incident, decided to take action and change the rules of the game. The players landed a $765 million settlement. In 2013, the NFL took their first initiative on the prevention of concussions in football. They released a video explaining these rules. This included the first rule change prohibits a runner or tackler from initiating forcible contact with the crown of the helmet outside the tackle box. This was arguably the most effective rule and most important rule implemented to protect against the head. This rule means a player cannot use their head in physical contact in the sport, other known as spearing. This excludes inside the tackle box, which is essentially inside the mess of linemen on the field. This prevented against the head being used to ram, which can severely hurt your neck or head. The consequences to this foul included a 15-yard penalty, and the player can be fined and or suspended. With this rule came many others with it. Some of the rules added is sportsmanship, which includes no taunting of any kind. In addition, late hits are strictly penalized, and the removing of peel-off blocks in the game. These new rules show the NFL, after all the controversy, are now attempting to promote sportsmanship and emphasis in safety of the player's head. However, today, the head injuries still continue. I believe we need to do more. But I do understand that this can affect the game. However, is it worth the lives of our players? So what else can we do other than change the rules? In addition to rule changes, we also protect our players by changing the equipment of the players, primarily the helmets. New equipment and helmets come out every year that are better and more protective than the next. Originally, helmets were made with nothing but leather, but in this day and age, we have come a long way from that. However, I would argue we have been taking the wrong angle on this problem. Helmets, until a few years ago, were always made strong and sturdy, as one would probably assume that's how they should be made. This, however, is untrue. Think of how cars try to make their car safer in a crash. They build the car's front to crumble, creating a cushion to soften the impact. We know Now, this is the best way to design helmets, and we have only scratched the surface. The company that is really showing progression in the design is Vixis. These helmets are designed to soften blows to the head. To show you how these helmets work, here is a little clip of them in action.
It's a tough conversation many times.
As a pediatric neurosurgeon at Seattle Children's, it also has a semi-soft exterior shell. In this video, they show why that matters. The Visus helmet is on the left, a standard helmet on the right.
It's a high-tech layered design, and then it's completely different from existing helmets.
As we compare and benchmark our helmet against current helmets that are on the market, and we're finding that we're seeing significant improvements in the force compared to the current helmets that are available today.
These helmets are proven to help drive the rate of concussions in the NFL considerably. Now, what I need from you is to push for these helmets to be mandatory and push for the furtherance of safety in the NFL. The NFL is a huge franchise, but with the help of many individuals, we can make a change. To end my talk, I would just like you to understand the past of the NFL and how they did wrong to their players and the effects that repeated trauma to the head has. Also, what has been done to help prevent further concussions and what is still has to be done. I want you to keep in mind that this is a huge problem that could have a solution. Us as a group must push to gain for this for our very cherished players. Thanks for watching my TED Talk, and happy football season.